Welcome to today's edition of 10 TV Plus. Dylan Robichaud alongside Jay Plyburn. And we start off today's 10 TV weather special with a look at an earthquake here, which I didn't know. You're not from this area, but they can happen around here.
I am from this area, though. Well, not specifically Central Ohio. I am from the area where the earthquake happened.
Ah, see?
Fun fact, my mom was working. She felt it in the Huntington area. Yeah, the whole tri-state felt it. 3.3 magnitude?
3.3, yeah.
Wow.
So a relatively weak earthquake, but it's just strong enough that folks can feel it.
Mm-hmm. And did feel it.
These happen pretty often. Yeah, take a look for yourself. The epicenter, far southern Ohio, almost in West Virginia. You see right here. So if you're unfamiliar with this area, this was about 2 miles northwest of the town of Chesapeake, Ohio. According to the USGS, folks in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio have reported feeling it here. As we kind of extend this out and look at the Richter scale, the scale in which we measure these earthquakes here. So this was a magnitude 3, all right? So as we look at the Richter scale, that was actually a minor earthquake, but it is just barely strong enough to be felt. Now, if we look at a magnitude 3, these often happen pretty frequently across the globe. And in fact, there's about 100,000 magnitude 3 earthquakes that occur every single year across the world. Now, if we look at a magnitude 9, there's only one of those that happen every 10 years. So think about that difference. It's very, very rare when you get a magnitude 9. And in fact, in your life, you might get 7 or 8, maybe 9 magnitude 9 earthquakes. So they don't happen that often. And when they do, they normally cause a lot of destruction. All right, 10 weather impact today. We've got your sunshine, folks. Enjoy today. Why? Because look what's coming down the pipeline for tomorrow. We have the rain, and then get ready, Buckeye fans. It is going to be frigid for the game here on Saturday, downright chilly. Let's talk about tomorrow's weather impact forecast. So we're thinking this is predominantly a morning impact with some scattered showers moving through the area. Be ready for that because that will impact any traveling that you have to do early in the day. Today, we just have these pretty high-level clouds moving on through the area, very thin. And in fact, these clouds are typically thin enough that the sun can penetrate right through them. A nice start to the morning, and I think as we head into the afternoon, the sunshine wins on out. Today, it's all about the big old H on the map. High pressure is going to be with us for quite some time. We are already watching our next system that is set to move in across the Tennessee Valley. Not the strongest storm, but we are getting that flow coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. And so we got some moisture. We got an upper level disturbance. So we're thinking that we will get some showers moving through the area heading into Wednesday. Eventually that will push out of the area heading into Wednesday night. Brand new model data that just came in this morning shows that the axis of heaviest rainfall is actually going to be far to our southeast. So how much rainfall you get really is going to depend on location. I do want to point something out, though. Early in the morning, we still have just enough cold air that we could be looking at some sleet pellets, maybe even some wet snow mixing on in. 7 o'clock in the morning, look at the pinkish, purplish color. That's going to be some rain-snow mix. But with ground temperatures well above freezing, eventually we're going to see the warmer air win out. And by about 9 o'clock in the morning, it's all rain out there. As we head towards 10 o'clock in the morning, again, here's I-71. This is really going to be the divider between who gets some decent rainfall and who doesn't get much at all. As we head towards 11 o'clock, lunchtime and beyond, we get some of these yellows down here that are going to start pushing into far southern Ohio. That will drive in some good showers. But then you look at this by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. See you later. Things start to improve as we see conditions dry up. And then as we head towards tomorrow afternoon, it's just about the cold here. We have that northwest wind as we're going to be looking at that cold air coming in across the region. Rainfall is highly dependent on location. And in fact, look at this right here. If you're up in Bucyrus, you're thinking, what rain? Meanwhile, down here in Jackson, MacArthur, you're going to get a pretty decent rainstorm tomorrow. So a very tight gradient between who gets a lot of rainfall and who gets none at all. We dry things up here on Thursday, and then we have a weak clipper system that will drive in some snow flurries and some snow showers heading into Friday. We dry things out as we head into Saturday as we kickstart the weekend. But I definitely think tomorrow will be the rainiest day of the week moving forward. Temperatures out there today, not bad. Mostly in the middle end of the 40s. Whatever you saw yesterday, shave off about 10 degrees. And I think that's what we get as we head into the afternoon hours today. Let's talk about the chill, because we've been advertising this for quite some time. Today, tomorrow, not too bad, but by Thursday now we're in the 30s. Saturday and Sunday, the 20s. By the way, these are daytime highs. Nighttime lows even colder, as we'll be in the upper teens. Some of you could be looking at wind chills in the single digits heading into Saturday night and heading into Sunday night as well. So Buckeye fans, if you are heading off to the game on Saturday, you want to be dressed in layers because it's going to get pretty cold there in the shoe. Why so cold? Well, we have the jet stream here that's pushing on down to the south. And look at this. We got this big old pool of cold air that's going to start moving in from north to south here. So the extreme cold is going to be with us here for quite some time as we head into the later part of next week. Meanwhile, 4 days in counting until the winter solstice. That's going to be Saturday at about 4:21 in the morning. And so that means that Christmas is also right around the corner as well. The cold air is going to arrive just in time for the official winter solstice. What exactly causes the seasons? So this is pretty interesting. So right here you have the sun. Fundamentally, what causes the change of seasons is the tilt of the earth. So look at this right here. The earth is tilted at about 23.5 degrees. So here we have the winter solstice, first day of spring, first day of summer, first day of fall. The axis doesn't change. It's always 23.5 degrees. But what does change is which hemisphere gets more sunlight and which hemisphere gets less sunlight. So look at this right here. First day of winter would be Saturday at around 4:20 in the morning. The sun is at its lowest point in the sky. Why is that? Well, look at the tilt of the earth. This is where we are in the northern hemisphere. We are tilted away from the sun. And so all the southern hemisphere is getting most of the direct solar radiation. So what happens is that we get a lot less daylight. It's only about 9 hours and 20 minutes of daylight. However, days gradually start getting longer. And in fact, as early as this Sunday, we start tacking on a few extra seconds. And then by the first day of summer, that will be the longest day of the year at 15 hours. Next week, Christmas, 8 days in counting. I can't believe how fast 2024 has flown by, but Christmas Eve is a week out. Christmas Day is 8 days out. And if you are doing any going out for Christmas or anything, worried about traveling, well, we're not looking at a good threat of snow. And in fact, the probability of a white Christmas in the city of Columbus is a whopping 23%. So I definitely would not hold off any bets that we're going to be looking at a white Christmas this year, because even on a good year, it's still only 23. You head up to Maine, Duluth, Minnesota, northern Wisconsin. Okay, now you're 70, 80, 90%. But here across central Ohio, only about 23%. If you head down towards Cincinnati, it will be even less than that. 7-day forecast goes like this. Thursday is dry. Dry does not mean sunny. We're still keeping the clouds in the forecast. Then as we head towards Saturday for the Buckeye game, it's going to be downright cold. We're below freezing for the tailgating. And then by halftime, we're sitting in the lower end of the 20s. By the end of the game, we're sitting at around 22 degrees. Wind chills will be in the upper teens, so definitely bundle up for that. Sunday and Monday not looking too bad. We'll be looking at temperatures dropping down to the 20s. Finally, we thaw out as we head into Monday of next week, as we're going to be looking at temperatures finally climbing up above freezing for the first time in a long time. So looks like we'll be looking at some flurries on Friday, but no chances of any real accumulating snow anytime soon.
To really get out and enjoy the sunshine today, because it's not sticking around.
It's not going to be sticking around now. Yes. Guess what time it is, though?
Time for trivia.
It's time for weather trivia today. Let's get a look at today's weather trivia question. Jay, what is the coldest Christmas on record in Columbus? Let's get a look at the possible answers. -12, 18 degrees, 25 degrees, -64. What are your thoughts?
Please don't be -64. That is just too cold. 25 is not cold enough. I'm going to say, this is for just Columbus, right?
Columbus,
Ohio. Coldest Christmas on record. I'm going to go 18 degrees.
Okay, you're wrong.
Oh, -2. That's nasty.
-12. That was not the high. That was Christmas morning. -12. December 25th, 1983.
6 months before I was born.
Around that time.
Many years before you were born.
10 years before I was born. Yeah, it was downright cold out there. Let's get a look at some other things that have happened on Christmas. So the coldest right there, -12 back in 1983. Look at the warmest Christmas on record, though. 64 degrees. That actually happened back in 1893, so about 100 years difference there. The snowiest Christmas, we haven't had any major blizzards, but back in 1890, we had 7 inches, which, think about that. That means that we have gone about 130 years of all of our Christmases with fewer than 7 inches. So that's kind of crazy. We haven't really had any major snowstorms on Christmas Day itself. Generally speaking, if we look at the average temperature today on December 25th, compared to 1970, the average temperature is about 2.3 degrees warmer. So, that's not an opinion, that is a fact of the matter. If we look here at Central Ohio, the temperature in the middle of December has been warming up quite a bit. So we have been seeing those changes across the Buckeye State. We are going to be continuing to track this cold air. You know what? We've been talking about winter beginning this weekend, and it is going to look and feel like it for sure. Next week, though, staying on the cold side. Well, that does it for us here on today's edition of 10 TV Plus. For Dylan Robichaud and Jay Plyburn, we'll see you at a later time. Make sure to tune in for Jerry Martz tonight at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock.